Hello, and welcome back to Doomed, solo playthroughs through Arkham Horror the card game with a focus on roleplay and storytelling. And to today's stream, where we will be dealing with a strange pallor all over my face and body, and apparently a mic arm. Whoop! It's gone! Welcome everybody to yet another live-streamed episode of Doomed, Sefina Rousseau through the Return to the Path to Carcosa. The Return to the Path to Carcosa. Ay, ay, ay. And to this, the Unspeakable Oath. What is the Unspeakable Oath, you may ask? Well, I can't talk about it, obviously. Clearly just woken up from a vamp attack. I mean, that actually is super possible, Crosshair. I have to agree with you. It's very, it's very possible that just I age a little bit, like a little bit more every time we do this, and that it's like draining the vitality from my body. Let's see if I can fix. I don't actually think I can. That's not helping. That's still black and white. The issue is that because I'm green screening with somewhat insufficient light, this isn't the world of insufficient light. This is the world of darkness. Okay. At any rate. As always, hello and welcome to those who are here for the... exactly, Zesty. Like Soul Drain Jumanji, which sounds like a super sweet funk song from the late 1970s. Crosshair. Okay, it's possible. Last we saw Sefina Rousseau, she had broken into, trespassed upon the Arkham Historical Society, searching for information about previous productions of The King in Yellow. Found them all pretty lickety-split, and found one of the keepers of the keys, one of the keepers of the manor of the Historical Society, whose name escapes me at this exact moment in time. But upon taking him and going to hunt for the secret library, she was immediately set upon by, like, I don't know, like 100 enemies. So she did what any good rogue would do and ran away. And in running away, she had a terrible dream. This dream mentions the name Daniel, mentions a cell. She doesn't quite know what to make of it as of yet. But the hope is that tonight we are going to be able to find out. I should mention kind of, because I've alluded to it several times off and on the stream, the Unspeakable Oath, it marks the halfway point in the Path to Carcosa campaign, and without saying anything, because I don't know what kind of results we're going to get today, there are two very distinct endings to this scenario. That's all I'm going to say about that, so we're just going to jump in, and we're going to find out what's happening. Well, you know, but if you're watching the VOD, you can of course jump straight into the action down below. There's a timestamp. And for those of you who are here live, you gotta listen to me talking. Oh, thank you, Crosshair. Yes, I actually turned that down slightly for some strange reason. I hope that's okay. Okay, sound levels are good though, so I'll just turn that maybe up a little bit, and hope that we get some more music coming in soon. There it is. Okay, I mean music. All right, let's get to it, folks. Let's get doomed. I'm still like super black and white here. How wild. Investigator's playing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just kidding. 1. So, well, we'll talk about the Unspeakable Oath, as I suppose. It's true. It's true. Lemira's correct. Sometimes Chief Inspector Stryker is here. He loves to be filmed in black and white. Well, he doesn't love to be, but how's everybody in the chat tonight? See, those loyal VOD viewers, if you were here live, you'd be able to interact right now. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope much more importantly that people are staying safe and staying sane, both of which are distinct. We are in danger of not doing either in this game, so there's that. Okay, folks, watch this. Hey! That's so much better. Thanks, Zen Robo. Is this even better? Nah, that's a little too jaundiced. Let's go with that. Boom! I can't believe I didn't know that. That was the one setting I haven't been tooling around with in my like green screen journey. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Gama. Well, welcome back to Gamma here on Doomed. Okay, we're all going to sororities now. This is good. I like it. Yeah, Crosshair got to watch Rigel take a shower. Yeah. Oh! I mean, I need to zesty. I will say, I've played this scenario a few times with different investigators, different situations, and in terms of the two different results that might result, it's a 50-50 split. So what you are going to see today, we are... Of course I do, Lamyra. What do you associate them with? Math? What we are going to be looking at today, we got a 50-50. We're on a knife edge, folks. All right, let's read it up. Here we go. This is scenario 4, the Unspeakable Oath. If the followers of the sign have found the way forward, read intro 1. That is what I will be doing, and it is in English and not in Greek. Wake up, Daniel. The words echo in your thoughts as you pace through the disheveled room, trying to make sense of what you've just experienced. Sefina, of course, she's very much of this world, but through her paintings and through her art has kind of almost been, well, literally, but also figuratively, transports viewers. She's just got a little touch of the mystical in her veins, but she still can't really piece together what this dream might mean. You had awoken that afternoon with a violent startle, your body shaking, bed sheets soaked with sweat. Although you'd slept a healthy 8.5 hours. Oh my god, why? I don't need this. Although you'd slept a healthy 8.5 hours, you feel even more exhausted than you had the previous night. You catch a glimpse of your dark, bloodshot eyes in the mirror next to the dresser and wonder if you've gotten any real sleep at all. Who is Daniel, you wonder? The chamber from your dream looked like a prison, but the man, Daniel, seemed unhinged, as though he wasn't in control of his mind. This led to only one conclusion: an asylum. Knowing you'll get little rest here, you head towards Arkham Asylum, hoping your hunch is correct. I mean, Crosshair, me too, until you realize that, like, if you can see a silo coming up, like, you're in, you know... I'm in danger, is one of those situations. Intro 3. As you enter the asylum, you stop to speak with the receptionist, though you feel your body urged to step deeper into the clutches. Of this madhouse. He gives you a confused expression as you tell him of the King in Yellow and of Daniel, but at your insistence, he pores through his file cabinet, eventually pulling out a stark white folder. Inside is a wealth of information about the patients admitted to the asylum, medical records, psychiatric evaluations, and the like. You recognize a few of the faces as he flips through the pages. Interesting, Sefina. Who are you hanging out with? Daniel Chesterfield, yes? He is admitted under the special care of Dr. Mintz, but you can't see him. His level is restricted to staff only. You argue and insist to be led into the patient wing, knowing that Daniel must hold the key to understanding what is really going on. The receptionist gives a pitying smile and relents, nodding to the security guards nearby. Oh, of course, he says with all the honesty of a street peddler. I will schedule a meeting for you with Dr. Mintz so you can speak with him about Daniel. These gentlemen will see you in. Relieved that you will soon get the answers you seek, you are escorted into the patient wing of Arkham Asylum. If Constance Dumaine is listed under VIP's interviews, she isn't, so we don't get no Constance's information. So that's okay, hey? Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, I look great. We're good. Joking maniacs, riddling weird folk, the usual. It's entirely possible, Crosshair, we're going to see some sweet origin stories happening here. The year, I believe, is 1925 or 26, so it feels a little early for actual, Rogues Gallery members, but you never know. I just want to point out here, in terms of setup, we're setting aside monster enemies in a pile. We're setting aside lunatic enemies in a pile. Crosshair, those are for you. We're randomly choosing one copy of the Eastern Asylum halls and the Western Asylum halls at random. I think I said randomly twice there. Based on your difficulty level, add the following chaos tokens to the bag. So there's an extra -3 in there, because this game does not like me. Depending on... Oh, yes. So Act 2, we actually use aversion depending on whether we have more or equal conviction than doubt. We've actually accumulated, if I'm not mistaken, 0 conviction or doubt, which is like quite surprising. It's like quite difficult. Extra bad things. Perfect. Yep. Zesty, I plan on leaving the enemies in a pile. That's the hope. Hopefully. So we're using the really bad ones, version 3, as opposed to the really bad ones, version 4. Really bad ones. That sounds terrible. Whoop. Just gotta fix my thing here again, folks. Can I do this? That's... looks good for me, but it's so sparkly here. Ah! Here, hang on. Let's try this. Nope. Will this also get edited out? Find out on YouTube. Okay. We are ready. Let's redirect an agenda. Oh, well, actually, let's have a quick look here. So there's 2 copies of each of these asylum halls. We're going to remove one of them from the game of each so that there's only one. This kind of helps randomize things a little bit. So we start in the asylum halls. There's an eastern and a western. The western one leads out to the yard and the garden and in towards the mess hall and the kitchen, but the kitchen is locked. The eastern halls lead to the infirmary and the basement. The basement is also locked, so we can't go there yet. I'd like to run a Doomed game as a GM. Oh, Crosshair, that'd be fabulous. I mean, the only issue with that, of course, is that because the mythos are controlled by fate rather than a person, you don't always get the absolute worst. Like, if there was a person controlling the mythos, here, let's theorycraft for a second, you'd have a handful of, like, monsters and treacheries and things, but you would tailor it to either give people the worst possible thing at the worst possible time, or you'd have to, like, back off and, like, give them a break or whatever. Maybe there'd be some way of scaling that difficulty. Oh, if they're doing this well, you get access to these new cards. If they're doing this badly, you don't get access to them, that sort of thing. I think it could be really interesting. I don't disagree. Anyway, this is the Arkham Asylum. Here's Seth. She is well out of her depth. I can't wait. We will see what the other tokens do when we get to them. There is one of every kind of special token in the bag and 3 skulls. Sefina, I didn't get any experience last scenario, but Sefina is adaptable. So she realized that she might need a few new tactics for her time in the asylum. She's not necessarily expecting trouble, per se. Basing on the Doom counter seems like a really good idea, actually, Crosshair. Let's keep theory crafting. She's not expecting trouble, per se, but she is expecting to maybe try to sneak in somewhere where she isn't allowed, and therefore she might need to sort of, be a little sneakier. All right. Okay. I think we're ready, folks. Is there any questions or comments out there in Chatland? We are not at all ready. We don't know what we're doing or why we're here. Coming in hot. Here we go. The agenda 1A is called Locked Inside. The patient wing of the asylum is far quieter and lonelier than you had expected. The hall reeks of chemicals and body odor. High school. As soon as you are escorted inside, the doors behind you are closed and locked tight. Hey, can I visit the asylum? Sure thing. One more patient for you, doctor. Act 1A. Arkham Asylum. Oh, sorry, this is a 2 doom threshold, so we have 2 turns before something happens. Act 1A. Aside from the few patients giving you a wide berth, there aren't any orderlies or doctors around to speak with. Looks like you'll have to find Mr. Chesterfield on your own. 3 clues. I've mentioned this several times. This is a make or break scenario. I'm not going to say why or what that means, but it does mean we got to go as fast as possible. I'm not going to play fast, but we're going to talk through these decisions and make them happen. Let's draw our opening hand. Let's get doomed. I should have said that before I drew a card. It's fine. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 6, 7, 8. That's a weakness. Sorry, I should actually just keep counting. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's also a weakness. 13. Not bad, Sefina Rousseau. Not bad at all. So, we get to put 5 events beneath Sefina to be copied. They are going to be Think on Your Feet, Deny Existence, Cheap Shot, that's a good card, Sneak Attack, and I'm going to... I don't like it, but I'm going to choose to put Emergency Cash beneath there as well so that I have 8 in hand. Perfect, Crosshair. Good. Yep. Start the clock. Thank you. All right. Sefina is locked in. Not a good thing, per se. However, I will point out she's got something that she didn't... I'm not even sure if we've... 707. I'm not sure if we even managed to play it in past, but in among the things that she's brought with her into the asylum, she had a tarot reading a long time ago. Again, Sefina is a very grounded person. I mean, she paints and she forges for money. You know what I mean? But she has this, like I said, she has this mystic bent because her art has power, and she knows this. Arcane power. And so the world of tarot speaks to her. Fortune-telling through art. The Moon, 18, a message from your inner self. Open your eyes and listen to your shadow. She's brought with her her favorite tarot card, the one that Anna Caslow, the famous tarot reader, told her would get her out of a jam. This says when the game begins, if the Moon 18 is in your hand, put it into play. For free! Boom! +1 agility. So all of a sudden, with this doesn't cost an action, it's all free. Fantastic. If you manage to draw it, boom, done. Sefina has this tarot card, and whether or not she believes that it intrinsically has any power, she believes that she has imbued it with the ability to get her out of some scrapes. All right. So we're going to paint some money. Then we're going to play some cards. And, we're actually going to reveal our location. Yes, I'm going to start here in the Western Patient Wing. The pleasant atmosphere of the reception area disappeared as soon as Dr. Mintz shut the thick iron door behind them. The temperature dropped to a clammy chill, and a foul, sharp stench hung in the air. Mallory O'Meara from the investigators of Arkham Horror. Yee! Oh, this is a 2 shrouds, 0 clue location. Womp womp. As they walked through the meandering stone halls of the sanatorium, Carolyn began to feel uneasy. It seemed like it would be very easy to get lost. So, it says here that you can draw a card if you defeat a lunatic enemy at this location. In other words, if you punch someone who comes after you, you can take some of their stuff. Seems difficult. So we're going to... I'm going to take all of my actions, and then I'm going to explain what I'm doing. It's 3. Do I want to play this? I don't actually think I do. So we'll just move. So, Sefina, of course, didn't come empty-handed. Naturally, she has her tarot card. Sefina never goes anywhere empty-handed. Her small bag is essentially empty, so that when she opens it for security, they just wave her through. But there's a secret compartment inside, her emergency cache. Emergency cache says gain 3 resources, and I used a painted world to paint it. Using those resources, I played Leo DeLuca and Lone Wolf, and then I moved. That was my turn. Double fist in the lockpicks! Well, we'll see if she ends up needing the lockpicks, Crosshair. Spoiler alert, she will obviously need the lockpicks. I just don't have them in hand yet. It's, I will probably... Ooh, was the oof from a mic thing? I hope not. Or is it the double... Yeah, it's the double. Okay. Inside her secret compartment, Sefina has a few different things. Some money hidden away. Notes from Leo DeLuca, the Louisiana. Oh, okay, good. Just checking. Meat shield and resources. Good first round. I thought so, Crosshair. She's got notes and intel from Leo DeLuca, things that she might be able to use to find out more information about where Daniel Chesterfield is being kept. And other things that she doesn't feel the need to use yet. Her last action, she moves out into the yard. The yard is fenced in, of course, but at least she can get a breath of fresh air before venturing back inside. The fresh air and the illusion of freedom makes the asylum's courtyard a common gathering place for patients. Through the barred windows, dead tree branches sway in the wind. Gray, overcast skies trap the asylum in a dull limbo. This is a one shroud, one clue location. While you are investigating the yard, it gets +1 shroud for each horror on you. I have 1. If there are no clues on the yard, I can take a damage and an action to remember that you incited a fight amongst the patients. But of course, moving out here was my last action, so there are no enemies. Everything's looking okay. We move to upkeep where we draw a card and gain a resource. Intel report. Bueno. And we move to the mythos phase, which is 1 doom out of 2. I have to remember to go back to placing doom now. Out here in the yard, we're going to draw our first encounter card of the game. What does Sefina get? It's the Bleeding Walls! The Bleeding Walls says test willpower X. X is the shroud value. That's 1. Doesn't get any extra shroud unless you're investigating. If you fail, lose an action, take a horror. Yeah, I'm going to go in on this. Sefina's outside. The only walls are inside the asylum, and of course the fences surrounding the asylum courtyard, but glancing backwards, she can't help but notice red ooze. It looks like blood on or coming out of the walls. She's just going to try to shake her head because that's not possible. It's not possible that it's happening here. So we're just going to test this. I have 4 willpower. And I'm testing against a 1. Yeah, it's probably just red tree sap. But I'm also going to watch this. Now, I'm going to let the chat here figure this out for me. Watch this as a skill. And if I put a bunch of resources into it, if I succeed, I get a bunch of resources out. But I'm not really sure how trying to shake off a feeling of unease would be like a watch this kind of moment. But we're going to do it anyway, so somebody tell me what the role-playing storytelling significance of this is. Show off. I'm going to spend 3 resources, and I'm going to test 5 against 1. 0. Huge success. Which means I gain twice as many, and I don't have to do whatever Bleeding Walls tells me to do. I go up to 6 resources, which is a bueno. Lone Star. Lone Star. The Lone Star State. I've heard of that. In the investigation phase, I gain a resource because of the lone wolf. Sef is out here in the yard. She's... You know what she's doing? She's showing off to the patients is what she's doing. Oh, Spaceballs! I don't remember that part of Spaceballs because I'm kind of the worst. Oh, no, Lone Star is the Han Solo character, right? Right? He must be. Doesn't matter. Okay. Doesn't matter. This is Arkham. Not Spaceballs. Okay. Point is, Sefina's hair toss of defiance at the bleeding walls. After noticing the walls bleeding, Sef, with a flurry, throws her cloak around. No thanks. I already had pancakes for breakfast. And ignores the blood as jam. Oh, jam with raspberry. I remember that. Yes. We're being jammed. You're right, Crosshair. Sefina tosses her cloak and her magnificent dark hair. She is able to shut out what she can only assume was a trick of the light. But it is drawing the attention of some of the guards and patients, and not in a bad way. They seem surprised by her being there. What I really want to do is get this clue, and then I want to get the action here. I might go and deal with the garden first. Oh, the gate leading into the garden is locked. You cannot enter the garden. That sucks. Oh, damn. I don't think I knew that. A lone statue stands sentinel over the garden. Cold wind causes dead leaves to roll gently across the garden path. Well, damn, we can't go there at all. So instead, we're going to just test this. I have 2 intellect, and I'm throwing in to be 3 on 2. Which doesn't seem very good, but we'll try it. Oh! A skull is -1. We're good. Taking the clue. So, Sefina moves towards some of the guards and, using this newfound goodwill, politely asks them about various people. Oh, I'm here. I'm visiting a long-lost cousin. It's for an interview. Actually, I'm drawing his portrait as well as an interview. She flashes a smile at them. Daniel Chesterfield? Do you know anything about him? They say if he's not out here in the yard, he's probably down somewhere else, maybe in the basement. We're taking the clue, and then I'm going to do this. It says, if there are no clues, take a damage and remember that you incited a fight amongst the patients. Take a damage and put it on Leo. Sefina walks away, and seeing a few people coming towards her, they're maybe trying to proposition her or something awful. She manages to use some of their words against them, some of the inmates here. And whirling around, she kind of stops one of them in his tracks. You know, you said what to me? This man over here is going to do whatever I tell, you know. Damn, Luca, always starting a fight. This Leo, look at this Louisiana lion. Sefina is going to incite a fight amongst the patients, you know, over her beauty and things. Then we're going to move out, and we're going to move to... Oh, I think... Oh, I don't actually want to go there, do I? Yeah, I do. I'm going to move to the mess hall. So she's going to run back inside after having initiated or started a fight out in the courtyard. She's hoping that the distraction that this fight causes will allow her to be able to get in somewhere where she's not maybe supposed to be. So she slips back inside the asylum, ducks down a hall towards the mess hall. A wide open doorway leads into the asylum's mess hall, where patients would have their meals. It's quieter than you expected. There are no chairs shuffling, dishes clanking, or patients speaking with one another. This is a 2-shroud 2-clue location. It says forced after you investigate the mess hall successfully. Choose and discard a card from your hand. Rows of tables are covered in dirty dishes and stale food. You get the feeling that they took mess here too literally. That was 2 actions to move. So she managed to sneak, to start a fight in the yard, get a little bit of intel, and then zip back inside, where she's hoping to find more information here. Again, there's no enemies, so in upkeep, we're going to ready our tokens here and draw a card and gain a resource. Money talks! Money sure does talk, I'll tell you that for free. What a troublemaker. Sefina is a rogue first, mystic second. I'm just saying. Rogues... I mean, Crosshair will tell you this, but anyway, in this game, there are different classes of investigator, and they're sort of broadly grouped together based on what they want to do. Seekers want to discover the truth. Survivors want to survive. Mystics want to use their arcane powers, generally, to kind of fight the mythos, or at least use it to understand it further. Guardians are, you know, either warriors or protectors, essentially. And then rogues are really only in it for themselves. How the hell they get drawn into these things, I have no idea. Most rogues are like bounty hunters, ex-cons. I'm just naming them now. Bounty hunters, ex-cons, dilettante. That's a good one. A smuggler, like a rum runner. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway. And then Sefina kind of stands apart from the crowd a little bit. She's a criminal. She's a career criminal. She's a forger. They get drawn by money. Money is good. And they do, Crosshair, you're right. There's different kinds of rogues, but typically money plays into their schemes. Okay. So we drew a card and gained a resource, so we're up to 8. Oh, I see how this goes. We're going to go to 2 out of 2 Doom. Agenda 1B, the patients. Speaking with the patients is proving more difficult than you had assumed. They eye you cautiously and refuse to answer any of your questions, backing away or fleeing if confronted. Either they're not used to guests, no doy, or something about you is causing them considerable distress. Some act like animals backed into a corner, and you think at any moment they might strike. Shuffle the encounter discard pile and each of the set-aside lunatic enemies into the encounter deck. The lead investigator must choose a monster and place it beneath the act deck without looking at it. So I don't know what this is. I'm just going to take it and put it over here. And then we're going to add the lunatic pile. We're going to add bleeding walls back. No. So Crosshair, there's a monster under the act deck. What does that mean? Who knows? And there's now lunatics in the encounter deck. You're welcome. Agenda 2A, Torturous Descent. The longer you spend in this hellish place, the more you want to leave. Already it's felt like days. You fear that if you're stuck here much longer, you'll become like the patients, a husk of your former self, unruly, dangerous. Ooh, Corsair, that's a good one. I probably should have put down the pickpocketing. Oh well, I have a plan for this turn if we don't get... I'm not going to say it out loud. Mythos phase, we draw an encounter card. It's a Maniac! After Maniac engages you, take a damage and deal a damage to Maniac. Get out, get out, get out of my head. He seems to have drawn a sign on his face. So this is a 3 fight, 4 combat, 1 agility enemy, but he now only has 3 health because he leaps up from the table and tosses his tray at Sefina. He's scratching his face, there's blood oozing out of it as he launches himself at her. Aw, I'm medium learning. In the investigation phase, we gain a resource from Lone Wolf. What I really want to do is put down this pickpocketing. Doing so will kind of mess up my groove here. So I think... I don't know, this makes sense for a turn. We're going to evade. Jinx Juxtapose. Jinx Juxtapose here. Writing for the Arkham Arbiter. There is a reporter in the game, in Dunwich actually, Rex Murphy. I can't say. Yeah, I can. There's a video game that has never come out, or is still in the works, so I'm still bound by an NDA, but the point is that it may or may not relate to what I just said. Which we'll see what happens when it comes out. First action, obviously, Sefina is going to just attempt to get the hell out of here. She's going to attempt to just, like, jam it and go. She's going to attempt to evade. She's a 5, 4 because of her, and 1 because of the moon. Message from your inner self. Open your eyes and listen to your shadow. She's going to attempt to throw the tray right back at him and then duck under the table so that it maybe looks like she's disappeared and maybe he won't be looking for her rather than just scratching his own eyes out. 5 versus 1. Cultist, minus X the amount of horror on you. What? Oh, it's going to be terrible. No, damn it, Crosshair. Anyway, that's a big evade, so I'm going to just exhaust the Maniac. Second action is an intel report right here. Boom. Intel report says, discover a clue, pay 2 more to discover 2 clues. So, that's 2 clues. Money, money, money. So, she ducks under the table and in doing so comes across on some symbols under the table, as well as overhearing a couple of nurses nearby rushing towards the patient, trying to calm him down as much as possible. They mention taking him downstairs, and they mention that they don't have the keys. They need to find the head nurse. Sefina knows where she has to go. She has to find the head nurse instead. We're going to advance the act now before I do anything else. Whoops. Because I have 3 clues. Act 1B, key to the basement. Turning a corner, so rushing out of the mess hall with the information that she's learned, you nearly bump into a nurse with light brown hair and sharp features. You tell her about the violent patients and the strange things you've seen. The blood on the wall, jam on the walls. But she doesn't listen. When you inquire about Daniel, she informs you that he is a patient of Dr. Mintz and that he resides in the secured basement level. Surprise. Unfortunately, she refuses to let you into that area of the asylum. This is a really cool moment. I love this. It says any investigator, so anyone, tests Combat 4 to intimidate her. If you succeed, you go on. If you fail, you have to choose another option. Any investigator tests Agility 4 to steal the keys. Any investigator tests Intellect 4 to persuade her to give you the keys. Or, if you fail all of those, you can then knock her over and grab the keys. Remember that you took the keys by force. I don't want to do that. So, the thing is, because my combat and intellect are so low, those tests are probably not going to succeed either. But I'm still going to try all of them. I could theoretically take a money test here. Oh, but it's 4. It's not going to happen. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So instead, we're going to just test. I have agility 5 against 4. I'm going to attempt to just... Sefina's going to attempt to sort of, like, duck her head, you know, in a, like... Oh, of course! I'm streetwise. What am I doing? I'm streetwise! I can boost my agility by 3, so now I'm an 8. That's how you do it. That's why I bought this card. It's like I've never played before. Sefina remembers a couple of times that she's had to steal things out from under the noses of some of her patrons. She does the old, here's $20. It's the old classic misdirect. She just kind of glances over the nurse's shoulder with a concerned expression. She doesn't even need to say the words, what the heck is that? The nurse turns her head and she's going to try to grab the keys from her. I'm an 8 versus 4. That's a skull. -1. Fantastic. Success. Advance to Act 2A. Look at that. Yoink! Got the keys. Easy. Act 2A, the really bad ones. Background interjection. Lamyra, do you mean the background behind me here? Is it like a flicker or is it the actual like thing behind me? Because I can try to fix either of those potentially. Just let me know. Oh, do you mean volume? Oh, yeah, no. There's someone else in the asylum with me. And I can't stop them talking. Don't worry about it. It's fine. This will just be a funny video on the VOD. It's just nothing to do. Daniel is somewhere in the secured basement where the most dangerous patients are kept. Now that you have the key, you can explore this area of the asylum. Ignore the text on the unrevealed side. Ignore the text on the unrevealed side of Arkham Asylum locations. Nothing is locked anymore. Find the patient confinement location with Daniel Chesterfield. You will be instructed when to advance. Now, I know it's downstairs because they told me, but also, I know what I need to do. And that is get out of here. So we're going to move into the kitchen. The door leading into the kitchen is locked. You cannot enter the kitchen, where you can ignore that because we now have the key. The narrow door in the back of the mess hall is locked. The scent that strikes you from behind the door is foul and repugnant. It's a 2-shroud 1 clue location. If there are no clues on it, test willpower 2. If you succeed, remember that you set a fire in the kitchen. Sorry, Crosshair. And actually, I want to just tell you, Crosshair, I think the rats were in the first couple of scenarios, and I think I didn't draw any. Do you want me to just draw some now? It's a 1 combat, 1 health, 3 of 8 enemy. Punch it. I punch it. I punch it. I punch it. Dirty dishes fill the sink and cover the countertops. An unidentifiable sludge boils on the stove. Yikes. It's true, Lamyra, I haven't looked at every single card. Last action in here, I'm going to put down this pickpocketing because pocket's got a pick. You know what I mean? Splinter up your face. Oh, splinter up in your face. Crosshair, I thought you'd like the classic, the chaos. Now I'm putting down the pickpocketing because I'm going to use it on enemies as much as possible. This maniac readies. Oh, he's going to deal me a damage. That's fine. That's a famous last word. Hello, RJ Cody. Welcome to Doomed, where Sefina Rousseau is exploring the Arkham Asylum and hopefully not getting caught in there forever. Okie dokie. Because here's the thing, folks. The door was locked behind us. We can't leave the asylum. At least not yet. So in upkeep, the Maniac readies, a classic. We draw a card and gain a resource. Elusive! My favorite card. Well, so here's the thing, RJ. No, not yet. But, as I've been telling people, this scenario has two very distinct outcomes, and I think I'm about 50-50 on them in terms of the times I've played it before. It's not easy, and it's a nice edge, so we're hoping that we don't get too bogged down or that things don't kind of go wrong. We're going to see. We move back into the mythos phase where we go to 1 out of 7 doom. We draw an encounter card. Here in the kitchen. Oh. Crosshair. It's true. We have keys now. We can just leave. But why would we, Crosshair? We haven't uncovered the secret of Daniel yet. Oh, son of a... Damn it, Crosshair. It's your favorite. This is visions in your mind. Hatred. Sefina is overcome with an absolutely foul sense of entitlement, for lack of a better word. She is better than this place. She hates the people that reside here, and she knows it's not rational. It's just the maniac attacking her. Like, she didn't do anything to him, you know? This says, if you did not perform at least one draw action, take a direct damage and direct horror. It's not great. I don't like it. But it just sits there, so at least if I draw a card, we'll be okay. Lone Wolf. So I'm going to draw a card. And we're going to attempt to... Yeah, because maybe we'll get our... maybe we'll find our lockpicks as we rummage around in here in the kitchen. Draw. Word of Protection, that's a good card. Do we want to just try to... Do we want to keep drawing, or do we want to try to do this? Let's draw again. No, let's try to investigate. I have 2 intellect. I don't have enough money to do anything else, so... oh, God, I can't do that, though. If you fail. There's so many, like, if you fail things. It's just horrible. And I only have 2 intellect. We're going to try at least one, right, folks? Sefina is rummaging around in here. She's trying to find any information she might have on how to get down to the basement. Clearly there wouldn't be stairs here in the kitchen. Or at least she doesn't think so, but perhaps she can find someone or something. It's going to go great, Lamira. Boom. Now, thankfully, that's just an automatic failure. It doesn't come with any negative effects other than that. You're right, Crosshair. Thank you. Thank you, Crosshair. You're right. I drew once, and I investigated once. So I still have... Yeah, no, you're right. So I still have 2. Let's try again. 2v2. The foul smell of the kitchen is so overwhelming. Sefina can't do anything but gag as she tries to leave. The problem here is I know what I need. Yeah, I drew the same thing twice. What are the odds? It's 1 in 17 twice. You don't have to do the math. It's like 17 squared is 324. But if I was to call it, it would be basically impossible. Like, it's just not going to happen. I have to investigate here so that I can set a fire in the kitchen. He said. Why, I wonder. We're going to draw a last action. Lone Wolf. Okay. In the enemy phase, nothing happens because the maniac is just chilling in the room there. But Sefina is... Yeah, it's 324, is it not? No, it's not. It wouldn't be because it's 9. 7 squared is 9. Aw, I don't know what it is. 289. Ah! I love that it's like, it's not, but that's okay. Hey, nobody ever said I was good, okay? Also, math doesn't help with this kind of game. Look at this face. You think math is going to help with this face? Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. Oh, what am I have Streamwise, you stupid son of a... Excuse me. In upkeep, we draw a card and gain a resource. It's Backstab. That's a good card to have. That's potentially a very good card to have, actually. Mythos, we put another Doom on the agenda. We're going to try to get this done. Draw an encounter card here in the kitchen. This is a mad patient that spawns at the nearest asylum halls. Yikes. Sometimes the most terrifying of foes is one's own mind. Spawns at the nearest asylum halls, so I'm basically going to be like running. Did someone say math? Oh, Zesty, you one-track mind, you. This is going to be difficult, although not impossible, and I might even be able to like get some neato stuff out of it. We'll have to see. Okay. So there's now a couple of lunatics running around in the asylum here. Classic. When my turn begins, I gain a resource from Lone Wolf. First things first, we're going to investigate, and we're going to not be stupid about it this time, because I can boost my intellect with Streetwise. Sefina grabs a nearby, like, old but relatively clean rag, clamps it over her nose and mouth, and ties it behind her head, sort of a makeshift bandana or face mask, if you will, which she's going to use to venture further into the kitchen. So I'm a 2 intellect plus 3 from Streetwise is 5 versus 2. Minus X, the base shroud of your location. 2, that's fine. Got it. Shroud. Shroud. Clue. Which I want. That's good. More importantly, though, now that there are no clues on this location, I can attempt the other thing I really want to do, which is, if there are no clues, roleplay, storytelling, and mental math. And not mental math. That's very different. We're going to test willpower 2, and I have to draw to keep visions in your mind out of my mind. We're going to test willpower 2. I have 4 willpower. That's good. So done. Sneaking around in the kitchen, Sefina finds one of those old printed maps on the walls. It has sort of at least a sense of the layout of the building. She's not going to memorize it, but she jots down the important points through the halls of the asylum down to where the basement stairwell is. There seems to be only one, which might be a fire hazard, but it's also 1926, so. While she's here in the kitchen, she realizes another distraction might be in order. There's a lot of pretty dangerous looking folks here, and if she wants to get out of here alive, she's going to need as many distractions as she can get. So she puts some old rags in one of the pots and turns the heat on. Relatively relatively low, but she knows eventually it'll start to burn, start a fire here in the kitchen. So I could venture into the next room and evade, but I don't want to because I don't want to keep taking damage. So instead, I am going to draw a card. That was the willpower test. Hang on. I did the intellect test. I did the willpower test. So I still have 2 actions. Yeah, I'm going to draw a card. And I'm going to do something else. I don't know what yet, actually. Oh, it's the other elusive. That's a good card. We need this for the end of the game. I can't say why. What am I going to do for my last action here? I'm just going to take a resource, right? We just want to top up. Again, in the enemy phase, neither of these lunatics hunt. They're just living their best lives here in the mess hall and the asylum cards. Hello, Crosshair. We managed to do a lot of things. We got a clue. We set a fire in the kitchen. Slow burning. Drew some cards, gained some resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Draw a card. Gain a resource. I am going to ditch the Lone Wolf. I don't need it. Just in time for the chaos. That's the hope, Crosshair. Move back to the mythos phase, and I'm starting to realize I am moving much too slowly. We go to 3 out of 7 Doom. We draw an encounter card. It's another mad patient. That's a spicy meatball, actually. Ooh, that's a really spicy meatball. I can't stop it from appearing. Okay. Yikes. Okay, well, Sefina she needs to... Oh, God, yeah. There's so much here. Okay. Well, okay, so Sefina's gonna rush back through the halls, right? She's gonna go into the mess hall. The maniac engages her. She takes a damage. We put a damage on it because that's what it says to do. Sorry, I gain a resource from Lone Wolf, of course. And I'm going to attempt to evade him. I am a 5 evading on 1. Yep. It's a strong evade here. I get to draw a card, so... Whoop, not Lone Wolf, but pickpocketing. And I watch this. That's pretty strong, too. I think I'm a 5. Oh, but like 5 out of 4, Lamira. Why is my camera so crappy? Similar to crappy. It's just running really slowly. I'm just going to do this for a second here. No, it's just running really slowly. It is what it is. 'Tis what it is. Well, you know what they say, Lamira. 5 out of 4 is certainly better than 4 out of 4. I don't... Okay. So I moved in and I evaded, and I drew a card. I'm going to... I don't want to have to deal with this guy again. I don't want to deal with this guy again, but I also don't want to deal with these 2 people in the next room over. I can't deal with them this... So I could move in and then evade one of these mad patients, potentially, but then the other one's going to punch me. Ah! It's kind of not the worst, I guess, though. I could even watch this for more money. Remember the Angry Lady card? Yeah, Crosshair, I don't think... Oh, I could just stay here then and draw, right? Except I'm so full up on cards. I got so many cards. I gotta... And here's the other thing. If I let this mad patient, this maniac, ready... Oh, okay. Here's the idea. Here's what we do. Third action. She's gonna paint a sneak attack. Paint the sneak attack, which costs 2. And kills the maniac. Boom. That's what we're going to do. He's dead. So, upon venturing back into the mess hall, the same maniac is there, but now there aren't any nurses to save her from him. He lunges at her. She manages to duck under his grasp as he howls and tears at his face. She manages to grab... well, on a tray on a nearby table, there's a fork and a knife and a dish. She clangs him over the head with the plate, jabs the fork into his jaw. He might not be dead, but he's definitely down for the count. That's for sure. I don't like the damage thing, but I think I'm just going to let this fire. Kind of sucks. Here's the thing, Crosshair. If I just keep drawing, I'm going to have to, like, discard stuff. If you did not perform at least one draw action... Come on, baby, light that fire. So you have to take an action, draw a card. This is how these cards tax the hell out of you, man. Oh, it's just terrible. If I draw last action, I will have 9 in hand. Then I'll have 10. I'll have to discard 2. I don't want to play anything either, so I'm just going to let it go, I think. Put down the shriveling, maybe? Take care of one of these mad passions. Actually, I don't really want the shriveling. I'm just going to keep evading. So maybe I do draw. Crosshair? Crosshair, you're right. I'm going to perform a draw action. Lockpicks! That's a good card! And I think we need them too. Haha. So again, in the enemy phase, there's now no lunatic. There's one lying on the ground of the mess hall, twitching. There are some mad patients roaming the asylum halls now that most of the guards are trying to manage the fight that's broken out in the yard over that beautiful vision of a woman who's disappeared. Visions in your mind does not trigger. During upkeep, I ready my pickpocketing and I draw a card and gain a resource. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that at least. Stars of Hyades is Sefina's weakness. Being as she's into tarot, of course, she also knows much about astronomy and astrology, and gazing up to the roof, which was opaque until just a moment ago, she sees some of the constellations of her life winking through the roof. Randomly choose an event between Sefina, remove it from the game. If you can't, blah blah blah. If your deck has 5 or more cards in it, shuffle stars back into your deck. Sucks. So one of these is going bye-bye. It's at random. Cheap shot. So Sefina can feel her options kind of, I don't know, running out, maybe? At the end of upkeep, I have to discard down to 8 cards. I don't want this. I don't want this! We go to the mythos phase, where I am now still moving much too slowly. I'm at 4 out of 7 doom. Draw an encounter card. Straight. A straight jacket. What are you doing? I'm not crazy. Sefina is discovered in the mess hall, standing near the body of another inmate, shall we say, the fork in his jaw. She's gazing up at the ceiling and muttering quite loudly to herself about the stars, about Hyades, about it spelling out her demise, her doom, how she hates this place. What are you, crazy? I'm not doing. The orderly is like, I'm getting too old for this shit, clamps her into a straitjacket and just walks away. Clearly, this is a very well-to-do inmate. This is a well-to-do person who was put here because of her hysteria, and there's just nothing to be done. He doesn't want her to hurt herself, and he just wanders right out again. Straitjacket goes into play. It takes up a body slot and 2 hand slots. So you get everything in your hands. You can't hold anything in your hands or on your body. Goes back into your hand. 2 actions to discard straitjacket. Well, I don't need anything in my hands or my body yet. No, Zesty. They absolutely do not. The orderly does not get paid nearly enough for body cleanup, and honestly, he's seen a lot worse. Also, potentially something. It's difficult, Zesty. Like, there's a distinct possibility, even though Sefina has seen a few strange things going on here. Elmira is the queen of phrasing, by the way, just a heads up, in case people aren't aware. There's a distinct possibility that not all is as it seems here. So, she's been smacked into a straitjacket. Aww. We're gonna, straitjacket or no, Sefina's heading straight for the basement. The goal is to move into the asylum halls, evade both of these dudes, and move straight on. Boom. That's the, boom, bosh. So, first action, we move into the asylum halls. 2 crazed lunatics latch onto her. Oh, sorry, I get a resource from Lone Wolf, of course. Visions in your mind. That had to happen sometime, right? Okay. Oh, okay, Crosshair. First action, we're going to watch this. We're going to attempt to evade one of these guys in grand style. She's going to attempt to slide, like, right between the legs of one of these lunatics who is sort of screaming and waving their straitjacket. Even as Sefina is tied up in hers, she's going to attempt to slide under and then just pick up and keep running. What? What? Under the legs? What? What? Yeah, it's amazing. What? It's watch this. So I have 6 evade versus the 3. 0, that's a succeed by more than 1. So I get a bunch of resources. We slide right under there. This one's evaded, which means pickpocketing fires. Which means I can draw a card. Think on your feet. That's a good card. That's a neat trick. Second action, we're going to evade again. I'm just thinking about this. We're going to evade again. And then we're just going to move on, and we're going to deal with the fact that the hatred is going to... the hatred's going to hurt here, but that's just where we're at. Third action, we're going to evade. I'm 2 up, but since I don't like my chances... Streetwise! Another mad patient comes screaming around the corner. Sefina's going to turn her back on them very quickly and pretend to be just another crazed patient muttering to herself. So I have 5 evade. Again, that's 8 versus 3. Absolutely massive. And then we're going to move on into these asylum halls, the Eastern Patient Wing. The pleasant atmosphere of the reception disappeared. Oh, we've read this. This is a 2-shroud, 1-clue location. Forced. Forced. After you end your turn at this location, take a horror and gain 2 resources. Damn it. Okay, well, I'll take a horror and I'll put it on Leo. And I'll gain 2 resources. That's okay. I'll take the money. Venturing around the corner, the screaming of the other patients fading behind her. Sefina is struck by the lack of sanitation. She's struck by the filth on the walls, the flies, the incessant buzzing of them. Something about the place is making her very uneasy, but it's also giving her the means that she needs to carry on. Visions in your head says, if you did not perform a draw action, discard it. Take a direct damage and a direct horror. Her hatred of this place is becoming palpable. In upkeep, we ready these mad patients, but they're not hunters, so they're not going to come after me. Good, I think. We ready all of our stuff. We're still holding a straitjacket. Still holding. We still have a straitjacket in our hands. Draw a card and gain a resource. It's the other intel report. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. We move into the mythos phase. Crosshair, I think this is about the mark of time where the bad things start, right? We're up to 5 of 7 doom. Yeah, here it comes. We're in a straitjacket. Not much I can do about that. Fragile thoughts. Uh-oh. Discard events from your hand with a total printed resource cost of at least X. X is the shroud value of your location. That's 2. So I have to discard events worth 2 in my hand. I mean, that's pretty easy. I can either Ward of Protection it away, or I can just discard intel report. Sorry, I'm just thinking about this now. I think I'm going to discard one of my elusives. Is that a bad idea? Yeah, no, it's fine. We're doing it. Dark. I wonder who that is. Trapped here underground, wondering if she'll ever escape. The creeping horror of the asylum catching up to her. Sefina's starting to panic. Her thoughts are racing. Oh, cool. Oh, yes, I have heard about it. It sounds amazing. Super good. Okay, cool. That's the second recommendation I've had. Presumably a third from the Crosshair. Anyone else in the chat want to tell me about it? Go nuts. Back to the investigation phase after our fragile thoughts. We gain a resource from Lone Wolf. That's okay. First action, we're going to get the hell out of here. The basement hall. Actually, sorry, just let me... I really want to get that. Sorry, I'm just thinking about what I want to do here. Oh, I'm going to so regret this. I'm going to so regret this. But we're going to do it. It's true, right, Crosshair? The scratched plaque on this wooden door reads, Infirmary. This must be where the doctors treat their patients. It's a 3-shroud, 1-clue location. And I can heal a damage, take a horror, or heal a horror and take a damage. Our methods are proven. So move. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna heal a damage and take a horror. Sefina's gonna use some of the drugs in here to try to sort of soothe some of her injuries from the madman who attacked her in the mess hall. And then she's gonna wriggle out of her straitjacket. Nope. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Instead, I'm just gonna buy the clue here. Well, that's the thought crosshair. Because here's the thing, Sefina doesn't need... The only thing she holds in her hands is lockpicks. And, like, do we need them? I don't know if we do. I think we do in the basement, actually. Yeah, I think we do. So, in fact, I am. She's gonna... You have keys! No. Sefina's gonna... Oh, you can't use keys if you don't have hands. Got it. Sefina's gonna wriggle free of the straitjacket, finally breaking free of it and leaving it on one of the nearby beds. She's hoping that she might find something in here, but even if not, at least there was a small respite, and the drugs are starting to kick in, and they are very nice. Again, in the mythos phase, nothing happened, or in the enemy phase, these mad patients are just wandering the halls, screeching. In the upkeep phase, I draw a card and gain a resource. Of course, it's the Stars of Hyades, which goes right back, and we all know what that does. It takes away one of these cards. We all might not know what that does. It takes away our emergency cash. That's fine. We already found our emergency cash. Again, here, even in this medical bay, that sensation of something happening out there in the universe, that place that she visited once, that alien landscape with the towers, spires, and stars, so many stars. It comes back to her, and it starts to creep in at the edges of her mind once more. That's upkeep. In the mythos phase, we put another doom on the agenda. We're now at 6 of 7. Well, that's... I'm a born storyteller, Elmira. And we draw a card here in the... Oh, me no likey this art. Peril. I can't discuss it with you. This is a packed power. The stars at the... The stars at the corner of... The stars at the corner of Seth's mind begin to coalesce, and they form this spiraling, hooked shape of the sign of Ha. Attach the sign of Ha to either the current agenda or the current act. Limit 1 per each. Each time an investigator takes 1 or more horror, he or she takes an additional horror. I'm going to put it on the agenda because I'm pretty much going to advance this soon. So the sign begins to appear around the room. Cables have been twisted in a way that resemble the sign. They're painted on the walls. They're scratched into surfaces of desks. She has to get out of here. Moving back into the mythos phase. We get a resource from Lone Wolf, and we're going to play the lockpicks. And then we're going to exhaust them to investigate in this location. And we're really hoping to get it. Investigate. Add your agility value. So I'm investigating a 7. Okay, cool. Got it, Crosshair. So I'm a 7 on 3. Cultist is minus X. X is the amount of horror on you. That's 3. So we're good. Got it. If you do not succeed by at least 2, so... Sefina spies some old medical documents behind in a filing cabinet. She loses a couple of her old trusty lockpicks to it, but at least it gets her what she needs. Last 2 actions are very simple. We're just going to move into the basement. So once into the asylum halls, and again down to the basement hall. Dank air drifted out of some of the darker hallways. Carolyn asked, "Do some of these passages lead underground?" Nurse Heather nodded. "It's a very old building, Doctor." Nurse Heather is creepy. "It's a very old building, Doctor." Move down to the basement. The basement is a Force Shroud 1 clue location. Forced After it's revealed, put the 4 set-aside patient confinement locations into play. Crosshair, there's a rat on this art. A cramped stone staircase leads deep underground to the basement level of the asylum. Cries and howls of anguish torment you from behind the hall's many iron doors. You can't imagine what it would be like to live your days in this place. It's Victory 1. I like Victory 1. And now the 4 patient confinement rooms go into play. I'm going to randomize them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just do it like that. So I just happen to remember they're all connected to the, well, in fact, you can see this has a connection up to the asylum halls and to all of the red moons, and all the patient confinements are red moons. As an additional cost to enter, you have to spend a clue. The heavy metal door is firmly shut and locked from the outside. The thin slit that would allow you to peer inside the cell is stuck, so you can't even look in. But that's the end of my turn, because I just got here, which is too bad. Again, in the enemy phase, the enemies don't do anything. They don't come for me, which is good. We ready our lockpicks. We draw a card and gain a resource. It's quick thinking. That's a good card. Remember, our goal is to find the patient confinement location with Daniel Chesterfield. You'll be instructed when to advance. That's upkeep. So mythos, the sign of ha goes away. Thankfully, that was very lucky, but we do advance the agenda, which is less good. In the back of your mind, a force beckons. Have you seen it? Oh, Nurse Karen looks at Cthulhu, the ancient one who sleeps, the very essence of insanity. You're not allowed to come here, no shoes. It calls to you. Glimpsing something in your peripheral vision, you turn and find a familiar symbol peering back at you wherever you look. It is etched upon the doors, drawn on the walls, painted on the patient's canvases. You cannot escape it. The lead investigator must randomly choose an enemy from the set-aside monsters, shuffle it into the encounter deck without looking at it. Into the encounter deck? That's not good. Check the campaign log. If Constance Dumaine is not listed under VIP's slain, she is not, search the collection for Constance Dumaine and spawn her in the garden. Whoops. I will gladly tell you all this is one of my favorite pieces of art. If you recall, we didn't actually see a lot of them. In The Last King, the various VIP guests that you can interview have, like, you know, their rich, wealthy sides chatting and hanging out. Constance's is like a woman with, like, really sweet hair in a sweet gown, and this is her now. So she's got some blood on her face, that's fine, but she seems to be missing her torso. Less good. Constance Dumaine is an elite lunatic monster. She has 4 fight, 6 health, and 1 evade. That's good at least. She's a hunter, but while she's exhausted, she gets +3 fight. In other words, if you can escape her, you can't... It's harder to fight her. It's just a very effective course. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. What's wrong? Aren't you enjoying yourself? Ugh. Anyway, she's a hunter, which means she's coming. Oh, and let's read the next agenda. Agenda 3A. His domain. Flee. Flee while you still can. Forced. When you would place an enemy beneath the act deck, shuffle it into the encounter deck. Cool. Let's draw an encounter card. I bet it's that monster I just shuffled in. It's not. Oh, but this is bad. Oh. Okay, so it goes into my hand. This is the gift of madness, misery. Being down here in the dank, underground basement hallways. Sefina is overcome not with the hatred for the place, but now incredibly troubling. I don't disagree. I like to think he's getting scarred rather than, like, you know, having something removed from his body. It's still concerning, though, Lamyra. I don't disagree. So, her misery, her sort of, like, sadness and her melancholy are welling up inside of her. She'll never escape. Huh. It's a hidden card. It's a peril card. It goes in my hand. You cannot trigger action abilities on locations. So any of the, for example, any of the things, we've seen a few already. Action, incited a fight, action, set a fire in the kitchen. I can't do those. I can spend an action to choose an enemy from the monster deck and put it into the deck without looking at it. If I have to, I will. And I think I'm gonna have to, so I probably will. Anyway, the misery is here. That's less good. We go to 12 resources, which is nice. First action, intel report, for sure. Let's get the clue on this location. Bada bing. Leo DeLuca told her a few things about this place, and he said, if you ever need to go into the basement, just be sure you are very careful down there. Those iron doors may seem solid, but on the other side, some of the patients have wild strength. The most dangerous ones would always be kept furthest from the stairwell. It's the dankest place. It's the furthest from hope. So she knows she needs to go as far as possible from the entrance, from the stairwell, to find Daniel Chesterfield. She's going to try a door by spending a clue. I'm going to spend a clue to try one of these doors. Let's try this one, shall we? I can move in and spend a clue. Let's do it. 3 shroud, 1 clue. Action test book 2 to speak to the patient here. If you succeed, you're able to interpret her ravings. Remember that you know the guard's patrols. That sounds great. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to spend an action to discard this gift of madness misery from my hand. And shuffle a monster into the encounter deck. That sucks. Sefina's, well, I mean, for lack of a better word, right? Like, Sefina is just... Oh, I know what's wrong. Oh, that's hilarious. Sorry, y'all. So it's been hours. When I started here, I had to duck out immediately before my stream, and Liz was very kind enough to set up the stream for me, which was lovely. But she plugged the webcam into the wrong port, so it's not ideal. That's why my webcam's so, like, it feels a little slow moving here. I understand what happened. That's why you always leave a note. That's why you... Arrested Development fans, anybody? That's why you always check your setup. He said, shaking his fist at Surgeon Simulator 2. So we're going to, put a monster into the encounter deck, which... She's going to shake off her misery to speak, or to try to listen and interpret what this patient is. Put her in the lower hole! Oh my god, Crosshair. Sorry. I'm sorry, did I say We're going to... Yeah, we're going to interpret her ravings. The patient in here is scrawling things on the walls. It looks like just an assortment of random arrows and symbols and not even named, but just words. As she steps back from it, it starts to take shape, and she realizes that it may be more than meets the eye. I'm going to test my intellect. I have 2, but I'm going to spend 2 resources to have 5, and I'm going to throw in some quick thinking. Sefina's going to point at a part of the wall and then point at a different part of the wall and see what the woman does to it. Sorry, I moved in. I got the clue, I moved in. Now I'm testing. Right? That's all I've done? Yeah. So I have 6 on 2, minus 4. So 2 on 2. Quick thinking does not fire, but I still get the clue. I don't get the clue. I know the guard's patrols. Sefina's fire is raging now in the kitchen. Oh, thank you, Crosshair. Yes. What would I do without you, Crosshair? See, this is another reason that I should do these live. Somebody can tell me when I'm making mistakes. Thank you. That's why I have these tokens, to flip them so I don't forget what I've done. The last action, though, was to survive. A chill gloom envelops this windowless cell. Being locked in here for a day would be torturous, let alone for months. It is with great difficulty that Sefina is able to interpret the map, for that is what it is on the walls. But at least she knows now what is intended, and with the fire raging in the kitchen and the fight raging outside, she might just be able to use this information to her advantage. Again, there's no enemies that... Oh, there is an enemy that hunts now. Bum, 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 bum. Constance Dumaine. Scary. Did you take a chance coin? Oh, one of these things. No, weirdly enough, this one doesn't say, so I'll give you the... These locations say, if there are no clues, do a thing. This one as well. This one just says, test book 2. It has a clue on it which you can use to get into other rooms, but I have quite a few clues, so I actually feel okay. But I will put a resource on them to remind me that I've done them. That's 3 things that I've done. I happen to know that you need to do some things in this scenario, so... you know. I did! I got a -4. Oh, maybe you missed it, Crosshair. Yes. I was up to 6, and I got a -4 down to 2, so I just passed. It is with great difficulty that Sefina is able to interpret the ravings of this person. Upkeep, we draw a card and gain a resource. It's the other ward of protection. I am going to use these. Yup. We're at 1 out of 8 doom on the last agenda. I believe it is the last agenda. And we draw an encounter card. It's Fragile Thoughts. Discard 3 cost worth of events. Nope. I'm going to spend a resource and take a horror to counter the wild ravings of the woman in this room, is again shaking Sefina's confidence in herself as she steps out of the room. She feels a light glowing on her hand. She just touches her temple and she calms immediately. Her mystic side at work. Ward of Protection just says cancel. It says cancel the revelation of a non-weakness treachery card like this one. Y'alls who don't know how to play the game, I'm not explaining it. We're just doing what we need to do, right? And take a horror, which I did. Yeah, oh, you love it, Lamira. I don't know if you do. The point is, yeah, I hear you, though. I hear you. It would be really nice to just be able to calm oneself, and I will say Sefina doesn't have the ability to do that all the time. So, Crosshair, I'm taking a quick break from the game. I'll try to remember to edit this out later. I should be writing these down, but I'm not. I have 2 instances of cameras early, and then 1 instance, of something here. I just want to show you this, Crosshair. This is a card that says Defiance, apparently. This is a card that says Defiance. It's a Mystic Skill. I don't know if you can read that. Before revealing Chaos tokens for this test, choose one of the bad stuff symbols. Ignore the effects of the symbol and its modifier. What? John, what was the ad? Was it Belle? Probably was Belle. That's crazy. Marcel Chenet, a friend of the stream, of course. Not a friend of the stream, but a acquaintance of mine, I suppose. Anyway, Crosshair, Crosshair, the you can see it, eh? The flavor text is just nope. Pizza pockets? What the beep? Well, oh, so we canceled that. We're back to the investigation phase. We're going to spend an action to move out of here into the basement halls. Sefina still knows she has to check further down the hallway, so she tries the other direction. And spending a clue in an action to enter this patient confinement center. Damn it! It's the familiar cell. How is it familiar, I wonder? Test will X. X is the amount of horror on you. That's 4. Oh, sorry, I gain a resource from Lone Wolf at the start of my turn. If you succeed, you recognize the room. Remember that you recalled the way out. Mysterious? It's a willpower 4 test, and I suppose I could test it with money talks, but I don't know. We're just gonna go, I think. Yeah. Actually, before I go, I should try to take the test in here. Sefina recognizes the room, which is strange, but she realizes there immediately it's from her dream. It's not from her time spent here. Or is it, you may be asking yourself. She notices what seems to be maybe a lockbox under the bed. And she's going to try to break into it with her lockpicks. I'm a 7. Whoop. 0. Choose a monster from the set aside monsters and put it into the encounter deck. There's now, I think, 3 monsters in there, Crosshair. You're welcome. I'll take the clue. And we'll move back into the basement hall. Again, in the enemy phase, there is a hunter. 4 extra. Oh, like 4 over. Yeah. No, it went very well. Constance Dumaine, a little too sociable. Whoops. Is here. This is a very scary lady. A 4/6/1 hunter. She is. I don't know how she got in, especially into the garden, but Constance Dumaine. Oh, 4 extra monsters. Oh. You're right, Crosshair. Blah. Constance Dumaine is marching just straight through the crowds of inmates fighting outside, straight through the howling ones in the asylum halls. She knows what she has to do. There is a woman in the basement, she thinks to herself, the woman who was at the party, the woman who knows too much. So she's on her way. That's good. Move to the upkeep phase, and I ready all my stuff, and I draw a card and gain a resource. That's the other backstab. Maybe I should just try to stab Constance. I don't know. Could be fun. Mythos. 2 out of 8 doom. Gotta find Daniel Chesterfield, like, now. Like, stat. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. What? This is a massive beast of Aldebaran. Aldebaran, probably. Aldebaran. This is an elite monster that has only 3 fight, but it has 7 health and 5 evade. It is absolutely massive, and somehow, heading back down the hall, Sefina discovers that the room that she was in, the hallways that she was in, suddenly inhabited by a beast that is much too large, not just for the basement, but for the whole building. It is of improbable, impossible size. When assigning damage in horror from Beast of Aldebaran's attack, you must assign as much damage in horror to a single card before assigning it to another card. So you can't just be like, oh, spread the damage out. It's here to kill. That is horrible. But here's the thing, Crosshair. You ready for this? Think on your feet. Play when an enemy would spawn at your location. Move to a connecting location. Zoop. So I'm gonna do that because I'm thinking. No, we're okay, Crosshair. We're going to zip into one of these confinement rooms, and I'm gonna choose this one. Damn it, it's the wrong one. I had to spend a clue to get in there. So the beast is here. It's massive, but it's not a hunter, so if I can just get by it. We're here in the occupied cell. Test Brawn 2, or Combat 2, to release a patient from his bonds. If you succeed, he howls and tears off through the basement. Remember that you released a dangerous patient. Thank you, Lamira. Will do. Thank you so much. Okay, so actually, unfortunately, that was actually, like, kind of useless. I get a resource from Lone Wolf at the start of my turn. Unfortunately, that was a bit useless because I don't need to be in this room at all. I could take the Money Talks test. Ugh. Instead of combat, I'm taking a money test. And then, so I'd be a 5 on 2. Okay. So basically, Seth is going to spend her first action attempting to free this guy from his bonds, but while she's trying to, pull on them, she's also encouraging this mad, frothing patient that she thinks she saw the nurse that did all those things to him just down the hall there. She's going to try to grease the wheels, or grease his palms, so to speak. Not with money, but with the... Yeah, well, he's frothing at the mouth. Oh, Myra, come on. Jeez Louise. So I'm testing my combat. I have only 2 combat, but Money Talks says instead of the skill type indicated, it's a resource skill test. Mouth? So I'm actually testing. I have 5 money versus the 2 of the test. Yeah, it's the amount of horror on me. Oh. Blue. So I fail. Do I want to take it again? It seems like a really poor test to take multiple times. That's really too bad. Okay, Money Talks did not work. The patient howls and continues to struggle against his bonds as Sefina realizes she's not going to be able to just deal with it quite so easily. What I don't want to do is head back into the basement yet. I mean, I do, but I don't want to yet. You know what I mean? I could draw one of these cards. Doesn't really help me. The plan at some point is going to be to go through the hall, evade this guy, and then continue. That's 3 actions, which is what I have. I think I'm just going to do that. So we're leaving this room. We're not going to bother. Second action, back to the halls. The beast, I'm just going to call him the beast, leans down from his impossible height, and his visageless face gapes, and a scream echoes through Sefina's brain. Second action was move in here. Third action is going to be to evade. I have 5 evade against his 5 evasion. I'm going to spend 2 resources to go up to 8, though. Just evaded. Okay, that's good, but I'll exhaust pickpocketing, draw a card. I'm almost done the old decaroo here, and then last action we're going to head into what I can only imagine is the last room. This is a bad shout, because I think I know what happens in there. Thinking. But I also don't really want to have to deal with him again. No, it's fine. Last action, we're going to head in to this final patient confinement center. Oh, hold up. Sorry. I didn't have a clue. Oh, I have to reset a whole bunch of stuff here. Wait, yes, damn it. I need a clue to go into the room, but I don't think I had one to spend, and I can't remember if I put one in there. I did. Okay. Phew. Thanks, Crosshair. Yeah, I had 2 when I went down to the basement. I got a 3rd from the basement hall, and I got 1 from patient confinement, so I had 4 total. Yeah, okay, perfect. Right, because I didn't need the clue on the... Right. Daniel's cell. Daniel's windowless cell is hopelessly dank and grim. The walls are covered in erratic scribbling, which, upon further inspection, appears to be passages from the King in Yellow. After patient confinement is revealed, advance to Act 2B. I know what happens here, and I am not excited about it. Here it comes. This is Act 2B, The Tale Retold. When you enter his cell, you find Daniel huddled in a corner of the room, sobbing and rocking back and forth on the ground. No mask. No mask. He stammers over and over. You help him to his feet and ask him what he remembers about the King in Yellow, but he interrupts you. I already told you! He exclaims frantically, his eyes wide with a yellow glow. Don't you remember the last time you came here? His words make no sense. What? You've only just arrived here, haven't you? No. The man stammers, falling backwards onto the dirty cot in the corner of the room. It will never end. It will never end until he is gone for good, and he will never be gone so long as you are here. Get me out. I want out. Daniel screams for help. But the only response is the creature that suddenly emerges from beneath his cot. Before you can react, its tendrils have wrapped around his body, devouring him whole. His final screams are muffled by the creature's enormity. Spawn the set-aside, Host of Insanity, at patient confinement Daniel cell. Shuffle the encounter discard pile and each enemy beneath the act into the encounter deck. So there's another monster for you, Crosshair, and a bunch of other things. Let's have a look at the Host of Insanity. Obviously, since I'm in the room, it's engaged with me, and it's the end of my turn. This is a 4/4/4. It's an elite avatar. Love that art. Love that art for you. It's a massive hunter Massive, of course, it takes up the whole room. Hunter, it's coming for me. It gets +2 health per investigator, so it's actually a 4/6/4. If I have the Clasp of Black Onyx, I can do something with it, but I don't have it, and I don't even know what that is. I love that look for you. Oh, okay. It's got victory 1. He thought to himself, thinking, wouldn't it be nice to get an extra victory point in this scenario? He thought to himself, wryly. In the enemy phase, Constance Dumaine gets ever closer. I'm just going to ready this guy before I forget. And of course, the classic, the Host of Insanity, is going to just, punch me right in the face. 1 damage, 1 horror. Yeah. I know, Crosshair, but I'm not fighting a 3/7/5. 7 health is a lot of health. Doing 2 damage is relatively common if you have a weapon or a spell. 3 damage is pretty hefty. Backstab does 3 damage, but I only have 2 of them. So I have to fight it twice with backstab and succeed, and then punch it once? It's just not going to happen. This guy only has 6 health, though. So I took a damage and a horror from the beast as we enter the upkeep phase. The tentacles, of course, have wrapped around Daniel and have just swallowed him whole. And they turn their attention to Sefina. As we draw a card and gain a resource. The Painted World. Seems like a good card. Seems like a really big card. Yeah, double backstab the tentacles. That works so well in our first scenario. We go to 3 out of 8 Doom. We draw an encounter card. This isn't a hunter, no. The spawn. This is the spawn of Holly, which is another tentacled beast, but it appears to be a water creature. Some sort of mollusk. It preys on the most horror, that's me. It has retaliate, so if you fight it and you fail, it hits you. After you successfully evade it by 2 or less, take a horror. You know what I also didn't do, and I realize I should go back and do that now? It's true. Act 3A, planning the escape. With or without Daniel, you have to get out of this place as soon as you can. You still have keys to stuff. If the investigators have performed 4 of the following, you can advance. Know the guards' patrols. I do. Set a fire in the kitchen. I have. Incited a fight amongst the patients. I did. Released a dangerous patient. I did not. Recalled the way out. I did not. Distracted the guards. I did not. So I have 3 out of 4. Now, I will also point out, I've seen all of the locations except 1. This one has recalled the way out. This one has released a dangerous patient. By process of elimination, there must be 1 here in the garden. Why am I telling you this? Well, basically, if my calculations are correct here, we're now in the investigation phase where I gain a resource for being a lone wolf and being really cool. Basically, and theoretically, ooh, is that a clip of me, Zesty? What did I do? Basically, I could just zip on out of this hellhole, head back to the yard, and up into the garden now that I have the keys to the garden. I can't watch it right now, Zesty, I'm sorry, but someone can give me the gist. I mean, I'm sure it's something I said. Oh no, did I say something? It's very French. Did I say something French? Bienvenue à Doomed, une série YouTube, une série web dont on joue à Arkham Horror, the card game, de jeu de cartes, avec un focus sur role-playing et puis des histoires. I don't know. Did I say Horror d'Arkham? Oh, spawn of Holly. Oh, thank you. I did, Crosshair? Did I put it in the wrong pile? Gasp. No. So Crosshair, yes, it went back into the encounter deck. Don't worry. Oh, yes, I did. Sorry, the squeezy corset. Yes, I did. She's here now. Thankfully, I'm quite far away, which is nice. Merci bien, la Mayra. Je suis pas francophone, mais je parle assez bien. Le français, that is. I like corsets. Thanks, Zesty. Well, here's one for you. But she's got no midsection. It's just ribs. Ribs! Clavage. Ugh. Okay, I can just literally zip out of here for free. Well, not for free. It cost me 2 resources to do so. Before I go, I feel like I should try to take on the Host of Insanity. So, Sefina, now that ever since she's entered the basement, things have been getting stranger and stranger. She knows the guards patrols, she set a fire in the kitchen, there's a fight out in the yard, she's found Daniel's cell, but Daniel was just consumed by a horrific beast. There's another one immediately behind her in the hallway, and now there's another one crawling out from under the bed. Le Sefina est muy calice, n'est-ce pas? It's my Google Translate impression. It's not great. Yeah, we might even just say fucky. C'est comme chier, probably. I feel like I'd use chier. Sefina bien chier dès maintenant, eh? Ah, Zesty, it's an insane asylum. Also, yes, let's burn the house down. Yeah, no, not mine. I'm not burning my house down. Anyway, I think I'm going to try to backstab it a couple of times. I would have to put in a lot of icons is the only problem. I'm not sure if that's the right... Oh, I could... Nah, it's fine. Oh boy. Okay, no, don't worry. Don't worry, Lamira. We haven't been speaking the Hanglish. Okay, so here's the thing. I could... I feel like I can maybe even just cheat out the kill on the Host of Insanity before I try to get out of here, which seems okay to do. So I could fight, and then zip on up to the yard, which I can do because I have a card that says Elusive, which is such a good card. They changed it on the taboo list, which is a totally optional thing that I choose not to play with because I like overpowered cards because I'm not as good at this game as other people. Whew, okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to evaluate how well this is going to go. So we're going to backstab with the Painted World committed. So I'm fighting using my agility, which is 5, and I'm adding 2 more to that. Bissing time. Yeah, so I have 5, 7 combat here, agility versus the 4 of this beast. Let's try it. -1. That's 3 damage. Looks good, Sefina. Very good, very good. Sefina tries to like step out of the way of the beasts that are emerging under the table. She reaches into her small bag, the hidden compartment. She withdraws what used to be a small switchblade. It has since grown in size. It's almost a machete now. She looks at it and marvels at how it managed to fit in her purse at all. She doesn't remember putting it there, and begins to hack away at the beast. Second action, we're going to try the other backstab here. And we're going to spend 2 resources to go to 8 agility. -2, that's the other 3 damage. I don't believe it. Yes, purse machete. A classic. So the Host of Insanity has been chopped up, but the other beast is coming. So I'm going to spend 2 resources to play Elusive, which is fast. It doesn't cost an action. I can't believe that. Disengage from each enemy engaged with you. Move to a reveal location with no enemies. So they don't like exhaust or anything, so if they're hunters, they're still coming for you. But zip! I'm going to zip up to the yard. Wow. So, seeing the beast crawling towards her, Sefina turns around and scrawls again on the wall something that she feels... Yeah, something that she feels like it's a tree. It's a sky. It's a glimpse of the outside. So it wasn't here. I'll read it again, Crosshair. But just for interest's sake, here there was a creature engaged with me. There was 1 here. There's another 1 here. There were 2 here. I skipped them all. The card says disengaged from each enemy engaged with you and move to a revealed location with no enemies. So this is one of the cards that they again. There's no errata, but like it's obviously very powerful. it's obviously very powerful. Even if it cost an action, it would still be like probably too good. So in the taboo list, I think it now costs experience. Tatas? I honestly don't know, Lamyra. I honestly don't know. We're gonna... Ooh, zesty. Does that mean I could take my telescope and go and look at it? Wish I could. Sefina. Oh, okay, good. Oh, okay, Lamyra. That's fine, I guess. I just can't think of what word would, like, sound like errata. Oh, errata. I don't know. That's really cool, Zesty. I'm going to see if I can have a look. I mean, I live in a city, so it's probably... Oh, erotica. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, so we're going to just move into the garden, which is now unlocked because I can unlock it. The garden says 2 guards in white uniforms stand by the gate to the garden, keeping watch. I know, Lamyra. It's going to be ridiculous. If there are no clues on the garden, test agility 2. If you succeed, remember that you distracted the guards. Okay. Last action. We need to get this clue. We're gonna get it. I have 2 intellect plus 5 is 7. Minus 3 is 4. Didn't succeed by 2 or more, so I lose a supply. That's okay. It's Arkham SMR gone. Yeah, it's ASMR gone. Very right. Correct. Yes, good. I'm glad we're all on the same page. In the enemy phase, the spawn of Hallie doesn't hunt. That's fun. But Constance Dumaine realizes... It's weird. They seem to be getting dirtier every week. How is that possible? Constance Dumaine realizes that she feels the life go out of Daniel Chesterfield in the basement and realizes that her prey is already gone. So she's going to hunt back here to the asylum halls. She's 2 locations behind me. But I'm not going to say I'm feeling good. I'm just going to say that it's feeling okay. In the upkeep phase, we draw a card and gain a resource. It's the stars. So I have to do the thing where I do this and remove a card from the game. The stars are still here, and they are calling ever louder to Sefina as she just tries to escape. It is definitely your fault, and you know it's your fault, Crosshair. We go to 4 out of 8 Doom in the Mythos phase as we draw an encounter card. Let's actually just read what the text says here. Yeah, right. If there are no clues. Right. Ooh. Oh, visions in your mind, hatred. Not again. Oh, Crosshair, you did this. If you didn't perform at least 1 draw action, take a damage. And a horror. But that's okay. I'm gonna resource when my turn begins, because here's the thing. There are no clues on this location. I'm testing agility 2. If you succeed, remember that you distracted the guards. That'll be the 4th out of 6 things that I need to do. So let's test it. I have 5 agility. Nope, big fail. Whoop. Let's try again. Hey, that one's better. So the second action was successful. We distracted the guards. The fire that Seth set in the kitchen, she can see it blazing out of control now. Most of the whole wing of the asylum is on fire as inmates and guards spill out into the yard where the fight continues. She knows that these guards are due to patrol around the edge, but in fact she throws a rock, Assassin's Creed style. She throws a rock to get them to go and investigate the noise off in the other direction. Then they see the fight breaking out in the yard. They feel like at least they should guard the perimeter of the yard rather than the garden and take off. She's distracted them. This is Act 3B, A Way Out. An orderly's scream echoes across the hall, building, yard. Within moments, an alarm rings loudly throughout the institution. Nurses and guards rush through the asylum in a desperate attempt to control the situation. You feel dazed, and your vision is spotty, as though you've been struck by something heavy. The walls blur together and twist. Creatures begin to emerge out of the crevices and corners that did not exist moments before. We've already seen a lot of these monsters, so I don't feel so weird about this. Shuffle the encounter discard pile and each enemy beneath the act deck into the encounter deck. If at least 3 monsters were shuffled into the encounter deck by this effect, they were not, because there are none to shuffle in. They're already here, so that doesn't. If at least 3 monsters were shuffled into the encounter deck by this effect, they were not. That makes sense to me. But check this, guys. Act 4A says all hell. Oh God, what did I do? Oh, jeez. We're okay, right? I haven't broken anything. There we go. Perfect. It says all hell has broken loose. Garden gains action if there is no ready enemy in the garden. Resign. Finally, a way out. Third action. Resign. We did it! We did it, everybody! Resign, of course, means we get the hell out of there. Oh, okay. Wow. Let's read our, Do not read until the end of the scenario. Resign! 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 I am resigned to no defeat. I don't feel bad spoiling this at this moment now. Obviously, if you plan on playing the scenario at some point and you don't want to hear this, you can cover your ears or skip ahead about 30 seconds. If you are defeated, or if you do not get out, or if you take the keys by... Well, no, that's different slightly. But if you are defeated, you are kept in the asylum forever. And you're driven insane. Forever. And the campaign ends right here for you. Although it allows you to continue at least and make a new character. Not quite from scratch. But someone else takes their place to kind of investigate what was going on. But we didn't do that. I know. It's halfway through the scenario. It's like, oh shit, sorry, you're dead now. It's not easy. And if you don't know that, the only thing is there's no way, if you don't complete the objectives, it's not like there's get out of jail free card, pun intended, I guess, but puns intended. This isn't a scenario like the last one where you can just be like, oh, get out, get out of the house, nothing bad will happen. Instead, this one doesn't let you leave until you've done what you need to do. So at least there's that, I guess. Okay. No one was defeated, so I guess I actually have to read. Oh, we advance. If you took the keys by force, R2. No, okay. Otherwise, read the following. The guards are too busy controlling the situation and restraining the asylum's patience to notice your escape. This is Resolution 3. Let's have a read, because I love these resolutions. With the asylum staff distracted and patients running amok, you were able to slip away without being noticed. You escape deeper into the garden behind the asylum, where a 2-story tall fence topped with barbed wire is all that separates you from the outside world. You have little time, and need to make it far away from the asylum before the guards return and spot you. Using a straitjacket you'd found inside, and had been trapped inside for some time, to cover the barbed wire, you scale the fence quickly, breaking into a run as you make it to the other side. The investigators escaped the asylum. Each investigator earns experience equal to Victory X. Constance Dumaine is not slain. I add 2 Elder Thing tokens, and I go to Interlude 2 Lost Soul, which I will read before we end the scenario. I'm going to count my experience points, though. Woohoo! 1 from the hall, 1 from the infirmary, 1 from the mess hall, and 1 from the Host of Insanity. It's a weird flex, but okay. I guess she knew it would come in handy, Crosshair. Or maybe she just found it in her hand. Sometimes she just draws things and they appear, right? Interlude 2, Lost Soul. If the ally version of Daniel Chesterfield, if the lunatic version of Daniel... If neither version of Daniel Chesterfield was in play when the scenario ended, proceed to Daniel did not survive. Well, he definitely didn't. We absolutely know that to be true. You decide to lay low for some time in Ma's boarding house, unsure whether news of the events at the asylum will get out to the general public. You take this time to make extensive notes of the events you'd experienced thus far, including the brief dialogue between you and Daniel. He'd spoken of the King in Yellow as if it were an actual being and even named it Hastur. He'd rambled and muttered and screeched other phrases as well. You doubt you'll ever forget them. He made us speak the oath. The price was paid. They are opening the path to Carcosa. For hours you think about Daniel's warning to you, which he begged you to heed. Do not speak his name. His final moments play out in your mind over and over again. The investigators must choose one. Possession? Oaths? There must be another explanation for all of this. Ignore the warning. Or, we must heed Daniel's warning. We must not speak the name of the King in Yellow. Proceed to heed the warning. Again, I have a sense, I think, of what Sefina would do, but I'm gonna... Should we heed Daniel's warning? I'm putting it in chat, folks, because there's a few of you here. Heed the warning. So there's option 0. It's going to be vote 0 or 1. Boom. So we can heed Daniel's warning or ignore it. Okay, Crosshair wants us to ignore the warning. Ooh, are you sure? Okay, Crosshair. We gotta vote 0. I will, of course, be the tiebreaker. Is Sefina the kind of person... Is Sefina the kind... YOLO! Is Sefina the kind of person who would listen to the ravings of a madman, or is Sefina the kind of person who would want to just be like, fuck it, who cares? I mean, chat's speaking here, folks. You only live once. Yeet! Wait! No! Yeet the other way! Okay. I'm putting it down in 3, 2, 1. Now I think it's gonna say 4, but that's not true. It's actually 3. Sorry, John, it didn't count your vote again. But it's still 1. Heed the warning. I'm sorry, Crosshair and John. You've been overruled on this YOLO. Heed the warning. For hours, you struggle with this insight into the King in Yellow. What is true? What is real? Only you can prevent forest fires. Only you can prevent kitchen fires. Only you can sort through this madness. Heeded Daniel's warning. Mark 2, conviction. Love is in the air. Love is... Mark 2, conviction in your campaign log. Oh, we're so convicted. Nope. Each investigator earns 1 additional experience as they gain insight into the machinations of the Tattered King. For the remainder of the campaign, this is fun. Anytime an investigator speaks the name of Hastur aloud during a scenario or during the setup of a scenario, that investigator must immediately take 1 horror. Proceed to scenario 5, a phantom of truth. We made it! I can't believe it. As I kind of mentioned halfway through the recording, my apologies for the quality of said recording. There was a technical issue which I should have rectified before we started, but what are you going to do? Oh, of course! You bet, Crosshair. I'm going to discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until we draw an enemy, okay? Here we go. Here's 1. That's walls closing in. Here's 2. It's vision in your mind horrors. Here's 3. Whoop! It's a praying Bayaki. You seeing this? It's like a weird dragon creature. Ugh. Yeah, 2 damage and 1 horror is like more than enough to do in good old Sefina here. I wonder if we'll ever encounter... Yoicks! I wonder if we'll ever encounter Bayakis again. We will. Thank you all so much for thank you all so much for joining me on this episode of Doomed. Like I said before we started, it's a very binary outcome kind of scenario, but things lined up for us, and we didn't smash every test out of the park, but we managed to smash the ones that mattered. We earned 5 experience, we earned 2 conviction, and we cannot speak the name of the King in Yellow. Yeah, thank you guys. No, thank you. Don't thank me. I just do this for fun. Thank you. I kind of like this grain effect back here. It's a little gross. I love it. Oh, that's nice, Crosshair. Everyone on the VOD, you're getting the purple butts. So, you know, hug them close, I guess. So, folks, thank you. Crosshair's got some PR for us, but specifically tomorrow, that's right, it's going to be... that's not book club. Drew Crew! Tomorrow will be 1 hour later, 5 p.m. Eastern, for the start of Drew Crew, the finale of The Secret of the Velvet Mask. The Clue of the Velvet Mask, sorry. John will be streaming immediately after with Ori and the Blind Forest 2... Ori and the Will-O-Wisp or whatever. Sorry. Thursday, we will probably have an RPG clinic. Friday is Punchy. Saturday is a Story Saturday. Sunday is Star Wars. It's just like, honestly, we just do so much every god. Oh, Nurgle is the Chaos God. Okay, well, that makes sense. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. That sounds nice, John. John, how is it so far? Does it live up to your expectations? Oh my god. Well, I mean, John, we haven't even played. I don't even know how to play it. If it's a card game, I feel like I'll be okay. But we should play. That's a good idea. Also, announcement. I'm going to announce here, and of course I'll tweet about it leading up to the event. At the end, or near the end of Spooktober, Tuesday, October the 26th, probably after my stream, or towards the end of my usually scheduled stream time, sorry, the 27th, my apologies, we're going to do a Team Punchy movie watch, because I know a little bit about what happens in Host, which is a very short, relatively short horror film, but I want to watch it, and I want to watch it with you! If you're watching this on the VOD, you count as well, I suppose. Join the Discord for more information. We'll be posting there, and we'll be streaming it there to watch all together. I can't wait, and yeah, I'm just generally really excited for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. You know, don't quote me on dates or times as of yet, but the current tentative idea is Tuesday, October the 27th, in the lead up to Halloween. It's hallowed evening, All Hallows Eve before All Saints Day. You know, I hope people can join us. I understand some people live, in places that would not allow a spooky, 8 p.m. Eastern time movie watching, but some people might live on the West Coast and might enjoy a nice sun is still out 5 o'clock movie watching. So I hope to see you there. I cannot believe that frankly, we kind of smashed it, the Unspeakable Oath. It went pretty well, I know it. Sefina knew what she had to do. Sefina did not still save Daniel Chesterfield, but he did. But everything else is going really well. Thank you all so much for joining me. As always, you can get in touch with me on Twitter or on Discord. If you have any comments about this episode of Doomed, you can put them down below in the chat. You can put them down below in the comment section. Questions, comments, concerns, things you'd like to see on Doomed. That is, of course, if you are on YouTube. But I think that's really about it for tonight. So I want to bid you all a very good night. Adieu. I hope that we managed to, sow some entertainment in your evening this evening or whenever you're watching it. And it's been a real slice. Be sure to take care of yourselves. Be sure to be well. And let's all just, Oh, thank you, John. Thank you. Let's just remember, right? If you're ever trapped in an asylum, the only person you can depend on is you, right? You're the only one who can slip between the legs of the guard. You're the only one who can take that straitjacket and use it to get over a barbed wire fence. You're the only one that can confront the madness of the mythos. But it helps if you have friends, like we are here on Doomed. Have a good night, everybody. See you soon.